Welcome to a short presentation on Autumn Years 3.5. Let's get started. Well, actually, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. 3.5? What's going on here? Well, for those new to Autumn Years, we have a little confession to make. We actually wrote book 4 first, thinking it was going to be the final book of a trilogy. We then wrote book 1 and realised that book 2 wouldn't bridge the gap to book 3. So book 3 became book 4, and book 2 was followed by the actual book 3. Following me so far? Good. Autumn Years had 4 books in the series: for beginners, intermediate, advanced, and for experts. We then decided that another book between 3 and 4 would be a good idea. We didn't want to rename everything, so we ended up with 3.5. The main point of all of this is that we realized our students wanted and needed another book, so we wrote one. Anyway, Autumn Years 3.5. This book is another A2 level book. And as with all Autumn Years books, there are 15 chapters, each comprising 2 double-page spreads. There is also a teacher's guide, a CD that can be downloaded, a workbook for independent home studies, and photo cards providing extra visual material. And again, there is no prescribed time frame to complete the individual chapters or indeed the whole book. Work at a pace that suits your students. Topics covered in the book include planning a trip, border and customs problems, Thanksgiving, tourism, homelessness, and making future plans. The grammar includes comparatives and superlatives, pronouns, phrasal verbs, present perfect and simple past, and future tenses. As you can see, there is a lot of repetition from the first 3 Autumn Years books, but repetition is essential. This book really is intended to consolidate the grammar from the first 3 books whilst introducing more vocabulary. In Autumn Years 3.5, Anja and John go to the States for a second honeymoon and to visit John's parents, Rosie and Steve, and his sister, Kate. They also travel across the US to the West Coast. Anja and John are tourists for a couple of weeks, but also see some of the social problems that the country has. In addition to the tried and tested dialogues, additional texts, good to know boxes, and exercises, Autumn Years 3.5 has a short biography at the end of each chapter for the students to read and discuss. The final pages of the book are dedicated to a recap of the main language points covered in Autumn Years 2, 3, and 3.5. The students can use these pages to check which points, if any, need reviewing before the class moves on to the next book. If you have any questions about Autumn Years 3.5 or require any further information about any of the books or accompanying material in the series, then get in touch with us using any of these options.